Every religion has outer shell of rites and rituals, ceremonies and beliefs, but the inner core teaches only compassion, love, tolerance, and the essence is to attain eternal bliss. So let's have a panel discussion on the topic spirituality and religion. On behalf of United Consciousness, I welcome and introduce our next guest, Ms. Nyamvati. She is an experienced internationally certified yoga teacher with over 1,000 hours teaching experience. She is voted as Kenya's top female yoga professional by the Indian High Commission during International Yoga Day 2020. She has been practicing yoga for over 18 years. She is a founder of the biannual Conclave Wellness Festival as well as a certified kinesthetic and Reiki therapist with a bachelor's degree in psychology and philosophy. She is also the founder of Yoga Alchemy, a pioneer program combining traditional yogic practices with modern psychotherapy treating depression and anxiety. She uses her skill to create holistic healing and coaching programs and retreats and has been featured as a keynote speaker on global summits such as the Embodiment Conference and World Parliament on Spirituality. Nyamvati teaches in Anglophone East Africa and Francophone West Africa as well as traveling to host retreats and workshops. Her teaching styles include intuitive Vinyasa flow, alignment-based Hatha, office yoga, restorative yoga and yin yoga. Her yoga classes are trauma-informed and incorporate a holistic approach to the 8 limbs of yoga and incorporate breath work, pranayama, meditation, mindfulness, energy work and aromatherapy. Nyamvati's vision is to be a healer and a teacher in service to others, helping transform and restore psychological and physiological well-being through the gift of yoga, psychotherapy and energy works. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Ms. Nyamvati. I feel delighted to invite Ms. Aishwarya Devi, who is an experienced dancer, choreographer, the founder of Yoga Dance System and one of the first yoga teacher in Greece. In 1987, she founded the Ballet School in Athens. In 2005, she founded new school in Athens by the name of Raj Yoga Anahata Center of Art, where she continues teaching different kinds of yoga. She has been greatly inspired and spiritually enlightened by the teachings of Paramhansa Satyananda, Master Kao Koksui, Pandit Shri Ram Sharma Acharya, Mataji and others. While being the creator of the yoga dance system, she has been invited to many international festivals. In 2012, she presented her system at the International Yoga Festival in Portugal. In 2013, she presented Yoga, Culture and Spirituality in International Festival from Dev Sanskriti Vishwavidyalaya University in Haridwar, India. She has made various presentations and speeches on Greek, television, radio, magazine. Speaking on all the yoga matters, she has worked wholeheartedly for the betterment of our society and the elevation of the human spirit. Nowadays, she is making efforts to transmit the global message of compassion, love, and communication to the whole world, to people who seek to understand their own lives and their inner self, regardless of gender or religion. I am glad to welcome our next guest, Ms. Shailja, who is a versatile being. She is an author, certified integral yoga and Manasa yoga teacher, TV host and speaker. She grew up in Coimbatore, India, but she is based in Malaysia. She has over 20 years of teaching experience and is the founder of Mat and Am Beyond Yoga Studio. She hosted Yoga Shakti, a TV series on Anand TV based in UK. She conducts online asana and pranayama and am dhyana classes in UK and USA. Over the years, she has been invited to speak at several educational institutions and organizations in Malaysia, India and USA. She has been featured in leading newspapers in India. Ms. Shailja hosts podcasts on Facebook with eminent personalities in yoga and Vedanta. She is a passionate advocate of mental wellness through the tools of yoga including asana, pranayama, dhyana, mantra and yoga sutra philosophy. And she seeks to share that knowledge through every platform available to her. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Ms. Shailja. On behalf of United Consciousness, I welcome Dr. Vedamurti Olav. He is Acharya in Yoga Vidya and also a member of Yoga Vidya. He has studied business management and worked at different universities in Germany. He is yoga teacher and trainer of yoga teachers, systematic coach, psychological yoga therapist, yin yoga teacher. He has learned Vedanta with James Quads, a disciple of Swami Chinmayananda. He is responsible for the Yoga Vidya Center of Excellence of Traditional Vedanta. He develops and teaches training and courses of Vedanta based on scriptures like Tattva Bodha, Bhagavad Gita, and Upanishads.
Namaste, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We are in the part of the world. Aishwarya Devi ji, namaste.
Namaste.
Shailja ji, namaste. Vedamurti ji, namaste. And Nyayavati ji, namaste. We welcome you. I guess somebody's mic is echoing. Mic off. Now it's good? Yes. Somebody's mic is echoing. If you can switch off the mic. Yes, thank you very much. So I guess Aishwarya Devi ji, your mic is echoing. So whenever you speak, you unmute and speak. So dear friends, I welcome you.
No.
Aishwarya Devi ji, your mic is echoing. Now it is off. Yes. Whenever you speak, you switch on and speak. That is fine. Thank you very much. So friends, I welcome you from different parts of the world and all our gracious audience watching us. We are going to discuss a very important, useful, and contemporary topic, spirituality and religion. So much bloodshed has happened in the name of religion. It has been always a very thin line that has been defined at many places between religion and spirituality. So in the ease of discussion, I would like to ask from Vedamurti ji first. Are spirituality and religion same, or is there any difference in them? Please unmute and speak.
Namaste. Yeah, from my point of view, it depends on the definition that you give spirituality and religion. If you take a very broad definition of religion, that in the sense of a path to come back to find your source, then I think it's quite similar. Yeah? But if you choose a definition of special religion system like Christianity or Islam or something else, Hinduism, then there may be differences. From my point of view, the essence of spirituality is to find your essence, yeah, and our essence is subtle, very subtle. It can't be seen or felt, and therefore, we have to look and feel for the subtle things.
And what is your opinion, Shailja ji? Is there any difference between spirituality and religion, or are they same? Please unmute and speak. Yes. Bottom tab. Yes. And you can keep yourself unmuted other than Aishwarya Devi ji. Rest mics are not echoing. Yes.
Okay, so again, there's no black and white answer for this, because again, religions are not the same, right? I mean, spirituality in many ways, the definition is the same, as we're all trying to connect to our inner essence, as was just said, and the individual essence trying to merge with the universal essence. But religion is so different, right? We have the Abrahamic religions, where it is all about name and form, right? There is one name and one form. But if you look at religions like Hinduism, in many ways it is very spiritual in its essence, because if you look at the scriptures like Vedanta and all of that, the most famous, like they say, the Vakyas, the Mahavakyas, Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, you are that, I am that. So that is, very spiritual in its essence. So it really depends on, what religion that you follow. And also, I feel in many ways, a lot of the bloodshed and a lot of the problems is really because we only touch the surface, right? If you go to the essence and the values of each religion, it probably is the same, about love, about compassion, about connection. So really depends on, what religion we're talking about, but the essence of spirituality is really the same.
So spirituality in essence is same, and religions depend on their own different point of views. I
Correct.
understand that. Aishwarya Deviji, let me put this question in a different way to you. Can I be spiritual without being religious?
Hariom, of course, we can be spiritual without being religious, because spirituality is connected with the higher self, the Atman stage. So beyond images, feelings, beliefs, habits, actions, lifestyles, mountains, seas, cities, big professional stages, states. Spirituality is the throne of God. So it is the existence. It's beyond time, space, and causality. So every one of us is connected with the spirit, with the spiritual chord. But religious, like Jung used to say, is that the human, the man, is by nature religious, because he's considering that the religious, the state of the unconsciousness, is which influences the activities of the consciousness, mind, and behavior. Is the religious is the unconsciousness. So in life, when we are living, we are having the beliefs and the habits. So the images, we want to make God in an image, in an icon, so we can follow this symbol. So religious can be in different stages and with different ways exploring, but spirituality is another. It's another cause.
Thank you very much, Aishwarya Deviji. You may need to mute your mic. That is echoing. Thank you. So Aishwarya Deviji mentioned that spirituality is the higher self, but when you feel for your God and you want to give it a shape, so different people felt differently, and that's why we find different shapes of God, different forms of God at different places. Quite nice you mentioned. Now the question comes is, if I can be spiritual without being religious, and when all the religions teach peace, then why there is so much chaos? Nayavati ji, I don't know any religion that teaches to fight, but in the name of religion, everybody fights. We always have seen search for God, gold, and glory in 15th century. So why people fight in the name of religion when religion teaches peace? Nayavati ji. Till you fix your mic, Vedamurti ji, go ahead. Yes, same question.
That's a huge question. I can't solve all the problems of all the world, but from my point of view, it's identification. Yeah, it's avidya. That's the problem. Yeah, if you identify with some limited object, yeah, with a person, or also with a country or a region or something like that, or a gender, and want to fight with someone, and your mind is made like this, yeah. And if you're also fanatic, for example, then this can happen. But if you cultivate your mind, yeah, your heart, and yeah, you're able to develop yeah, ahimsa, compassion, and so on, then that's, from my point of view, the solution. Yeah, so to bring this into the world, to bring it to the people, but we can't force it. Yeah, everybody has to do it himself.
So Vedamurti ji said that the limited identification, a person with a limited mindset, limits the God also in its scope. So, how do you define yourself? He said that avidya, wrong identification of self, leads to the wrong identification of God also. That's quite very nice way of putting it. Nayavati ji, when all religions teaches peace, why there is conflict? If you couldn't fix it, Shelja ji will answer and then we'll come back to you. Go ahead, Shelja ji. The same question.
Yeah, so we have these inner instruments of the mind, right? Manas, Buddhi, Ahamkara, and Chitta. So I think the ego or Ahamkara plays a very big role in all our interactions with the world and interactions with ourselves as well. So I feel this is a very limited mindset, like our Vedamurti ji just said, where we are so, it's like children, right? When we're kids, we have like, my toy is better than your toy. And then, my dad's job is better than your father's job. And then as we grow up, it becomes about, my religion is better than your religion. So it is just that small mindset which never expanded. And it's just so egoistic about mine being better than yours. So I just see it as a sense of unconsciousness and a sense of limitedness that is expressed with these kind of beliefs. Because the more we expand, the more our minds expand, the more it encompasses and touches on something that cannot be, expressed through form, then we really cannot hold on to these beliefs anymore. And we, just really have to know that what, just because we have a certain belief or we have a certain form of a God, that's not really it. And there are so many, so many ways to the truth.
Wow. So she second what Vedamurti ji said, that out of antahakarana, this ahankara is the major problem, and she said that that idol maybe probably which is made up of matter should be elevated to the formless rather than formless to be brought down to the matter itself. So limited identities creates the limited mindset and the problem persists. Aishwarya Devi ji, I love this, the idol of God which I worship. You love another idol of God which you worship. Now, how to be together, how to live together peacefully?
You mean the methods of
I practice some different practices. I believe in some different idols. You have different practices, you have different idols. How can we
yes,
live peacefully?
yeah, but spiritual experimental methods are the same, like silence, like meditation, and soul contemplation. So whenever you are to one side or to the other side, you should use these experimental methods, because mind is the same, soul is the same, and beliefs towards God is the same. So I think that maybe some words or some methods like rituals can change, but even in the rituals, I am a Christian and I know also very good of the Vedic rituals, and I'm practicing that. We have same connections. We have same like rice, the fire, the candles. We have the same methods that we are approaching God, or religious methods, or we are getting influenced by the spirituality that the religion can teach us from the childhood until, adult age.
Thank you. So she said that yes, our you may need to mute Aishwarya ji. So she mentioned that our Aishwarya Devi ji, you may need to mute it.
Yes, but
Yes, thank you. So she mentioned that yes, idols are different, rituals are different, she said. But go beyond the ritual is the spiritual, probably she said. And she said the soul is same, love is same, meditation is same. So, Shelja ji, when I die, I go to Swarga. When you die, you go to heaven. When somebody else die, he goes to Jannah. And the regulations in Jannah, Swarga, and heaven are different. So how can I live with you?
I think what is more important is how we live right now and how we die or where we go after we die. So when we live well, and the whole process of the human journey is really evolving and evolution of the human consciousness, and that is where our effort should go, and that is where we should really be directing, and I always say it's from unconsciousness to consciousness, right? That is the path. And for me as a yoga practitioner, it all happened through the yoga practice. So the body, the from gross to subtle is always the path. And for that, that's where the body work comes in, where we really learn to connect with our bodies first. And even students come to my class, even left hand, right hand, all of that is such a mix, because our minds and bodies are so disconnected. But that is what happens through a yoga class. We get connected to our bodies, we get connected to our minds, we get connected to our breaths, right? And then it takes us to a level deeper. If you look at even the definition of asana in the Yoga Sutras, right, even there he talks about, Maharishi Patanjali talks about prayatna shaitalyam ananta samapatibhyam. So when the effort ceases, then you really connect to that state of ananta, that endlessness, that limitlessness, which is all there within our purview to experience and explore. It is just that we get so caught up in where we go after heaven and where we go after our death to hell, right? So we don't pursue all of this. So our effort should really be directed towards pursuing all of this in our lifetimes.
That's nice. She said that, as Jesus once said, let the dead bury their own dead. Let's focus on how to live peacefully, nicely. What happens after death, we'll see it after death. As they say, cross the bridge when it will come. Vedamurti ji, I feel my God is the best and the last. Somebody else said that his God is the best and the last. Mr. Y said his God is the best and the last. How can I live with you?
If you put your identity on the self, if you see yourself as everything, all pervading, then you can accept everyone as he is, yourself, your body, your person, and every other person. So, my suggestion would be, change your identity from I'm limited, I'm separated from you, to I'm everything. Then you can embrace everyone, everything, every experience of the day, every thought of yourself or others. That's the solution of Vedanta.
Perfect. Vedamurti ji said that the only definition he knows is probably when your circle of love is expanding, accepting all, it means you are being spiritual. So that's nice, Vedamurti ji, all pervading, accepting all. But the problem is, Aishwarya Devi, I cannot accept my next door neighbor even when he homes, when he parks on my land. What are you talking about accepting who you are? What is your take in that? I can't accept my daughter-in-law. I can't accept my son as he is. This acceptance is that all that easy?
I believe that it's possible for every human, it's that to actualize that blessed and that blessed and unique, I can say, state in which can feel inside the being, inside the heart, only the God and nothing else. So in this way, you don't have the separation from your neighborhood or from any person that shows the beliefs like this, not the spiritual beliefs, but the religion beliefs. So whenever you have God inside you, you are connected with every soul in this planet and beyond this planet. So open heart and the state of God inside us lead us with no contemplation and no separation from the others.
Thank you. Aishwarya Devi ji mentioned that have God within you, and once you have God in yourself, behave like God would have behaved. Jesus said, "Forgive them because they know not what they are doing." So, probably when you have God Himself, then your behavior will be like God Himself gradually. Shelja ji, this concept of acceptance, which Vedamurti ji said, is probably one of the things that world needs to learn today. But is that all that easy? Boss is not ready to accept the subordinate. Husband is not ready to accept wife as it is. Siblings are not ready to accept each other. Somebody is not ready to accept that. How can we talk about accepting different nations when we can't accept the people living in the same house? How spirituality can approach to it?
Well, the way I see spirituality is it's a process, right? It's not like going from 0 to 100. And we kind of work on increasing our circle of love. So, in the beginning, our journey is really to even accept the people in our lives. Like you say, husbands and wife accept each other. You accept your child. Even to accept your child sometimes can be a struggle when they, strike out on their own. They want to do things that you would necessarily not approve of or want them to do. So there is a struggle in every relationship, but that is the journey. That is our spiritual journey as well, to be able to expand our hearts and work on accepting, because it is when there is non acceptance and resistance that we suffer. So, to me, asana practice is a great way to do that, right? There are so many postures that work on opening the heart space, back bends, especially like Bhujangasana, and then you have the Urdhva Dhanurasana. All of them work on opening up that heart space, and all of this happens also in a very organic, painless manner. So though we can tell ourselves as much as we want, oh, I have to accept it and I have to do it, but acceptance can only happen naturally. And to me, asana practice is a beautiful way to work on ourselves and to bring ourselves to that state of ease. And when we are in that state of ease, it's easier to accept, right? When we're not so rigid about boundaries and definitions and my way or the highway, right? All of that eases in our asana practice. Thiram Sukham Asana. So when we get to those states, and later on, it does, you don't necessarily have to do an asana to get to that state.
Thank
So
you.
initially, right, you need that asana practice to get there. But
Thank
when
you
we are
very
in that
much.
state of sukham, then
Mhm.
we have that ability to be non-reactive, non-judgmental, to simply observe, right? To be in that sakshi bhava where we are simply the observer, and we're able to accept people and allow them to go on their own way, even though you may not necessarily approve of it.
Well, Shaljaji mentioned that it won't happen overnight, that acceptance, it's a continuum. And the struggle is there, yes. First, accept the struggle. That, okay, fine. It is there, and then you will learn through it. Asanas can be an important tool in that. She mentioned some of the asanas. We have Navati ji with us. If your network permits, the question right now with us is how to generate acceptance towards others.
Thank you, and thank you for your
Quick tip.
patience with my
No worries.
with my
Quick
really
tip
really bad
session.
network this Sunday.
It
Okay,
happens.
so
So we
how to
accept your
generate.
network as it is. We just question is how to increase acceptance for everybody. Actionable items, practical tips.
Okay. How to increase acceptance? Well, I think the first thing would be to understand that our ego will always fight this, and to accept that we will have a certain level of resistance within us for whatever it is. And then the second thing is to just logically understand that no one ever changed or transformed from a place of comfort. So you must be in a place of discomfort in order for any change or transformation that you're asking for to happen. And so I find these are tools that help me start to understand, okay, well, change is here, whether I want it to be here or not. And in understanding those two, it helps me to accept the reason that change is there and to surrender and give into it.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Surrender, minimizing ego, external forces won't make things change. If the change has to come from within, are the good points. I would ask Veda Murthy ji the same question. Quick executionable tips. How to increase your circle of love.
How to increase your cycle of love?
This is a question from Veda Murthy ji, Nayavati ji.
Sorry.
I think from my point of view, it's the most important thing to have an inquiring mind. Yeah. So pay attention to everything that's happening inside of you, outside of you. Yeah. Try to connect the dots between your actions and the results that are happening in your life. Yeah. Also in the communication with others, and be receptive and think about it, and try to adapt and develop yourself, grow like this. And I think from my point of view, that's the core.
Thank you. Aishwarya Devi ji, quick executionable tips to increase this acceptance, as you said, feel God within us. What else can be done? Execution.
Yeah, I think there are the 5 basic aspects about that. First is inquisitiveness, like towards the universe, the self, the soul, which gives rise to what we call objective of the research. Second is the selection of the type of sadhana suitable as per one's instinct, tendencies, and mental makeup. Third is experiment in the laboratory of the mind and body. That makes, of course, cleansing and conditioning of this mind-body system, and we are working that on yoga. Another one is the vigilance, discipline and examination of the spiritual mentor, the guru, if we are in India or in any place, to regularly assess the progress of the disciple, because in experiments, in the spiritual experiments, you are supposed to verify and evaluate the intermediate results before concluding anything. And the last one is the inference of or concluding decision after thorough analysis, because the rishis had first conducted the experiments on themselves, and that's why we have this knowledge, and then devised different sadhana methods for spiritual refinement and transmutation.
Thank you. Thank you, Aishwarya ji. Shailja ji. Quick tips, 2 executionable points that can be done from today itself.
To increase the circle of love,
Yep.
I think there's a beautiful concept from Shaivism that says pratyabhignya hridayam, which means that the soul, the individual soul or the spiritual soul of the individual is the same as the soul of the universe as well, or the heart of the universe as well, recognizing that. So I think philosophy helps in that when our minds expand and we connect to all of these beautiful philosophies and these beautiful, like aham brahmasmi, I am that, tattvamasi, you are that. When we expand and connect to all of this, we sense the interconnection between, so the separation is not. So while the limited mind is stuck with separation, as we expand our minds and evolve, we get more connected to what is the sameness between all of us. And even when we travel to other countries, right, we look for the sameness. We realize emotions
Thank
and,
you.
the heart, all of that is the same thing.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Shailja ji. Now, Nayavati ji, the last question is specific two-liner answer for the question, from where should I begin to contribute in world peace?
Well, I think the very easy but difficult answer is you begin with the self, because you cannot have change that is replicated to many without starting from a single central point. So you start with cultivating peace in yourself. If you're having a lot of conflict with your interpersonal relationships, it's understanding why and learning peaceful communication, learning those tools.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so I would say it starts with the self.
So giving a message of love to everybody around, expanding the circle of love. For that, we need to say I love you to all. So we can begin with our own native languages saying I love you to the world. So let me begin. In Hindi, we say it, मैं तुम्हें प्यार करता हूँ. How does we say it in German? Veda Murthy ji.
Ich liebe dich.
Nice. How does it do we say in Greece? Aishwarya Devi ji.
Αγάπη σε όλους.
Thank you. How do we say it in your place, Nayavati ji?
Well, the language is Kiswahili, and the saying is nakupenda, nakupenda sana.
Nice. Thank you. How does we say it in your language, Shailja ji?
Yeah, so in Malayalam, I think you say snehamunda. Sneham is the word for love.
Perfect. So we have sent the message of love to all parts of the world. Audience, I guess you must have received this message. So we had this discussion on spirituality and global peace. We had Veda Murthy ji, who mentioned that spirituality is the essence and religion is the different point of view, seeing the same essence. He said that, but the difference comes because of avidya, wrong identification. Limited mindset considers God also limited. Otherwise, once you see God and from the proper perspective, it is all pervading. Increasing your sphere of love, for that you need to inquire, have an inquiring mind, connecting the dots, believe in law of karma, things happen for a cause, be good at communication, be receptive, adopt to the changes and grow. Don't go through life, grow through life. Shailja ji said that yes, spirituality is the essence and name and the forms are different perspectives, but the major problem is ahankara, which provides a limited mindset, and that limited mindset, the God is reduced to the matter rather than matter, or the idol should be elevated to the God. For that, it is more important to focus on life, better to live rather than what happens after death. Mind, body, and breath connection should be focused upon, and development is a continuum. Acceptance, start accepting the struggle itself, that every struggle is to improvise us, and start with asanas. She mentioned the Urdhva Dhanurva asana and many other asanas which makes use yourself with peace for self and you become non-reactive. Shaivism considers that individual soul is one with the universal soul, and philosophy and travel can also help. Reading Brahma Vakyas. Aishwarya Devi said that spirituality is the higher self, it is the throne of God. And man is by nature religious because man loves symbols. But then there is something which is beyond symbols, which connects all us together, is the silence, meditation, experiences. Soul is same, love is same. And at mental level, we can connect well with each other. She said spiritual, go beyond rituals is spiritual. And the solution is acceptance to all. Feel God within you. The moment you'll feel God within you, you'll start seeing God outside also. For that to begin with, having mumukshutva, inquisitiveness in nature, do sadhana, work in the laboratory of mind and do the experiment with this instrument called body, be vigilant, have self-discipline, find a guru and conclude after thorough analysis. Don't jump onto the conclusion fast. Nayavati ji, who joined us later, but she really made a mark. She said that ego is the biggest problem that creates fight. Know what you cannot change and know what you can change. And nobody can be changed from external force like an egg. Life begins when egg gets broken from inside, and life ends when egg is broken from outside. She said surrender, and from where to begin, she said to start with self. So I'm sure that our audience will also start with self. Thank you very much for being with us today, honorable guests, and looking forward to be associated in future again. Thank you very much. Namaste.